Tensions are rising and the message couldn't be clearer when a manager fires off a pointed statement like this. It sends shockwaves through the entire clubhouse. After a stretch of underwhelming performances, the pressure has officially hit a boiling point, and this bold move might be the spark or the split that changes everything. Is this a wake-up call, a public challenge, or the beginning of a deeper issue behind closed doors? The energy has shifted, and fans are left wondering what this means for the team's chemistry, lineup decisions, and long-term success. One comment, one moment, and suddenly the spotlight is burning brighter than ever. Don't blink, because the fallout from this could be massive. When you look at the Los Angeles Dodgers, a team stacked with talent and one of the most respected organizations in baseball, it's easy to get caught up in the success stories. The stars, the comebacks, the thrilling walk-offs. But every team, no matter how dominant, has its fair share of challenges. And right now, one of the more noticeable ones for the Dodgers revolves around Max Muncy and his performance at third base. Manager Dave Roberts recently took some time to speak openly about Muncy's defensive issues, and his comments have stirred up conversation among fans, analysts, and the broader MLB community. It's not often that you hear a manager be this honest, this detailed, and at the same time this supportive when talking about a struggling player. But that's exactly what Roberts did. And to understand the weight of his words, you need to look at the broader picture of who Max Muncy is, what he means to the Dodgers, and how these defensive struggles are affecting not just his game, but the team as a whole. Max Muncy has never really been considered a defensive wizard. His value has always leaned more heavily on the offensive side, with his power, patience at the plate, and ability to work counts being his calling cards. But when the Dodgers made the decision to make him their primary third baseman, the expectation was that his bat would more than make up for any minor defensive deficiencies. Problem is, the issues at third base haven't been minor. They've been glaring. So far this season, Muncy has committed 8 errors at third base. That ties him for the second most in all of Major League Baseball. That's not just a rough patch, that's a statistical red flag. Even more troubling is the advanced defensive metrics. When you look at outs above average, a stat that measures how many outs a player saves compared to the average fielder, Muncy ranks in the first percentile with a 7 rating. That essentially means he's one of the worst defenders at third base among all qualified players in the league. And these aren't just numbers for the stat heads to debate on Twitter, they reflect the real-time impact he's having on games. Missed plays, extra outs for opponents, extended innings. All of these things can turn a winnable game into a loss. Dave Roberts isn't blind to these struggles. In fact, his comments show he's very much aware, but he's also trying to offer a bigger picture perspective. Roberts said sometimes it's a range thing. Sometimes it's a throwing thing. Sometimes it's getting the ball out of the glove, and sometimes it's been just not catching it cleanly. That breakdown isn't just surface-level coach speak. It's a layered, almost diagnostic analysis of what's been going wrong. It shows that the issues aren't isolated, they're multifaceted. There's no one fix. It's not as simple as working on footwork or sharpening throwing mechanics. It's a bit of everything, and that's what makes this situation so tricky. Roberts also talked about how he sees Muncy working consistently every day. He sees the effort, the reps before games, the commitment to improvement. And that's something that often gets overlooked by fans who are understandably frustrated when a third baseman boots a routine grounder. From a fan's perspective, it's all about the outcome. But from a manager's point of view, it's about the process too. And Roberts is betting on that process, on the work Muncy is putting in behind the scenes, even if the results haven't fully caught up yet. Still, Roberts didn't sugarcoat anything. He said, yeah, he's still got to make the plays. That's the kind of honesty that earns respect in a clubhouse. It's not blind loyalty. It's support with accountability. It's essentially saying, I believe in you, I see you grinding, but we still need better. That balance is tough to strike, but Roberts walked that line perfectly. It's a detailed, almost painstaking breakdown of a player who is trying his best but not delivering consistently. Roberts finished that thought by saying, I see a good defender. But I understand the statistics, the numbers, all that stuff. That's why I'm just as frustrated as he is, because I see a good defender at third base. That kind of transparency is rare, and it speaks volumes about the relationship between Roberts and Muncy, and how the Dodgers approach player development and trust. Now, it's important to understand that Muncy isn't a one-dimensional liability. While the defense has been concerning, his bat has started to wake up. Over the last 2 weeks, Muncy has been hitting .247 with an .840 OPS. That's not elite, but it's certainly solid, especially in today's offensive environment where league averages are down across the board. He even went 2 for 4 with a home run in a recent game against the Cleveland Guardians, showing that he's still capable of delivering big-time offensive performances. This improvement at the plate is crucial, because if Muncy is going to remain the everyday third baseman, the offensive production has to outweigh the defensive costs. That's the tightrope he and the Dodgers are walking. And to this point, the Dodgers have shown that they're willing to ride it out. They're banking on the offense, the leadership, and the veteran presence. And let's not forget, this is a team that's built to absorb some defensive shortcomings. With strong pitching, a potent lineup, and good defenders at other positions, the Dodgers can, to some degree, cover for Muncy's lapses. There's also the matter of alternatives. The Dodgers have utility players, guys like Kike Hernandez and Chris Taylor, who can play multiple positions and offer solid defense. But neither of them is a perfect long-term solution at third base. Moving Muncy off the position creates other lineup and roster complications. It's not as simple as plugging in a defensive replacement. There are ripple effects, and the Dodgers have to weigh those carefully. That's the reality of playing in a big market on a high-profile team. The spotlight is brighter. The scrutiny is harsher. Analysts have weighed in too, with some calling for the Dodgers to make a defensive upgrade, while others argue that Muncy's offensive upside is too valuable to bench or replace. It's a classic baseball debate, the trade-off between offense and defense, and how much a manager should tolerate one for the other. And right now, Roberts is siding with belief, with trust, with work ethic. But he's also not turning a blind eye to the numbers. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel for more in-depth MLB content, and share it with your friends who love talking baseball. Your support helps us keep covering the game from every angle, and we've got plenty more coming your way. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.